Hey guys, I'm Jackie, and this is part 2 of my video from last week about overcoming overthinking. And I feel like I just left out a little bit of information and details in my last one. So today I'm going to share just a little bit more about it. An important thing I want to point out is that it has taken me years of practice to get where I am today. And that when I first started practicing overcoming overthinking, I was only doing this in yoga classes. And so I think that's why it took me so long. But now that I'm practicing not just in yoga classes, but when I'm doing the dishes, when somebody does something that I maybe don't agree with or think is right, when I'm driving, every single situation in life is an opportunity to practice overcoming overthinking. So up until recently, I really identified with my thoughts. I thought that my thoughts showed who I was as a person. And I think this was one of the most difficult concepts for me to grasp, especially at first, because I identified with my thoughts. So who was I if I wasn't my thoughts? A few years ago before this practice, if I saw somebody maybe across the street, I thought, oh, I don't like her outfit, I would, one, identify with that thought and think that that's who I was as a person and think, wow, I'm a mean person, and get carried away with all the judgments that go along with that thought. And so now I may still have that same thought, I don't like her outfit, but I no longer have to identify with that thought. Now I can ask myself, do I believe this? And maybe where might this thought be coming from? One reason behind this thought could be that I actually do like her outfit, but subconsciously it triggers this thing inside me where I realize, ooh, I don't feel confident enough to wear that outfit, or I don't have the money to afford that outfit, or all these things that are behind the reason I don't like her outfit when it actually has nothing to do with what it actually is. And these thoughts that have maybe derived from low self-esteem or sadness usually don't come from inside. That didn't come from me initially. I wasn't born thinking that I'm not good enough. It comes from TV shows pushing fashion and from social media and advertisement, or maybe the times that other people made fun of my outfits. Another thing that I want to point out is that I never caught my judgment beforehand or questioned it, because I think critical judgment of others is just such a norm in our culture. And like most of us, I was exposed to people talking negatively about other people at a very young age. And because that's just how it's always been, we tend to just think that's okay, even when I know my gut tells me otherwise. And it's important to know that progress is not linear, that you have to take this overcoming overthinking day by day, minute by minute, that there are great days where you are just so aware of your thoughts and don't let them define you. And then the next day you may just be pummeled by your thoughts and just beaten down, and it might be a really rough day, but that doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that all your practice has gone out the window. It just means that you're human and that there are easy days, there are difficult days. Since this concept of not identifying with your thoughts or knowing that you are not your thoughts is so challenging, it's important that you can figure out a way to visualize that your thoughts are not you. And so what I've been doing recently is I've been imagining that my thoughts are like other people's dogs. And this just makes sense to me because I love dogs, and living in Austin, I see them everywhere. But basically, just like other people's dogs, You can give your thoughts like a little bit of love and attention, but you probably don't want to follow that stranger's dog all the way home. And you definitely don't want to just steal that person's dog. So your thoughts deserve like a little bit of attention, a little bit of love, like, hey, I'm having thoughts. This is a thought I'm having. But we need to know when to cut ties with that thought. When is it too much? When am I giving this other dog too much attention? And if I'm like really consumed by my thoughts and just feel like I can't climb out of them, I'll visualize like being in the middle of a dog park and there's dogs like playing all around me, like right next to me. And it's so much fun when there's, you know, a bunch of happy, go lucky, friendly dogs. But it's another story when the thoughts are, or when the dogs are more aggressive. That can make things pretty stressful. And so either way, whether the dogs around you are super happy and friendly or aggressive and mean, you probably don't want to spend your entire life at the dog park being surrounded by dogs. I mean, that sounds great, but let's be real. We can't do that. So I picture myself walking out of the dog park and watching the dogs from afar so that I'm not like engrossed in them and I can separate myself, but not be overwhelmed by them. I just have to remember that there's so much more to life than just dogs. And while dogs are amazing and essential, I think, parts of our life, there's so much more. So now when I get a thought like, ooh, I don't like her outfit, I remember that that's just another person's dog. I don't have to respond to it. I don't have to even believe it. And I'm not even responsible for it. So I can walk away and move on from that thought/dog. So this is just another one of my weird examples of what works for me with my overthinking. And I would love to hear from you if this makes sense to you, if it resonates with you, or if it makes no sense and you want me to clarify or expand on anything that I talked about today. As always, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you being here. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and requests for any future videos, because I am trying a new schedule where I will post a new video every single Wednesday. We'll see how long I can do that. So try to tune in on Wednesdays, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But thanks again, guys. Namaste.